Yeah. Good looking out there. Yeah. Ha, it's Flav, you heard? It's Flav. Check it, I had to get what I earned. It's my turn. Welcome to the show. It's Trenton's Tavern. Yeah. Ha, that's how we doing it. Welcome to the show, y'all. Enjoy.
I got a yes, guys.
Oh,
welcome back to the show, guys. Yeah, this is episode, I want to say 21, if I'm not mistaken. Hold on, let me check real quick. Yeah, this is episode 21. This is going to be called For Fitness Sake. I'm going to tell you why it's called For Fitness Sake in a minute. But you know what we do. You know how we get down. I got to light my stuff to, set the mood and all of that good stuff. In the meantime, like I always do, I just want to thank all you guys for the support this far. My subscribers went up a lot. I'm about to tell y'all how much they went up. I think I'm at 250 something.
That's what's up.
Yeah, we about to see real quick. 251. All right, so I didn't get to 250 in January because I was sick half the month for whatever reason. But I'm at 250 now. So from this point till next month, I'll be trying to gain 50 more subscribers to get to 300. Y'all know how we do. Just keep moving on and on and on and on. But thank you guys so much for all of the support and everything thus far. And we just gonna jump right into it because this chick is nervous. I turned the camera on and she's like, oh my God, I'm cute in this. But this is my best friend. I call her T-Pain. Nobody else can call her that. I call her T-Pain, aka Tierra. And what we're gonna do today is I wanted to get her on because she's starting a podcast and she's gonna be doing like fitness videos, and I thought that was pretty cool. Stuff like that. So I wanted y'all to get to know her. Like y'all got to know Janine and Robbie and all my brothers, well, two of my brothers. And y'all get to know the rest of them too. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do today. So jumping right in it, this is gonna be topic of the day, and we about to get this started right now. You ready, T?
I'm ready. All
right, let's do it. So first things first, the audience don't know, some of the audience don't know who you are, so you gotta introduce yourself and tell the people about you.
All right, guys, I'm Tierra, Trent's best friend.
Yeah.
Way back. I mean, how long has it been? Jeez, since I was in high school, so
yeah, I moved here
12 plus years.
I moved here when I was 16. So yeah. Yeah, I'm 31. Yep. It's been a minute.
Okay, so let's see. I graduated from Virginia State University, and that was in 2014. Then I moved back here, so now I'm here working, just working my life away and getting fit. That's really what it is. It's just time to get fit, guys, and get serious about your lifestyle.
That's a fact. All right, cool. So yeah, that's what we're gonna. That's the first question. First of all, I wanted to know how it was for you moving to another state, number one, and then how was the campus life going to Virginia State?
Okay, so moving to another state was hard. It was hard. I wanted to go to Virginia. I wanted to get far away from Ohio, right? And I grew up in Ohio my whole life. So then I moved to Virginia, didn't know a single soul out there. And that was tough. Like just, trying to get acclimated. Good thing I'm friendly and social. I was able to make friends, of course, but it was definitely hard moving.
You know why I asked that? Because when my mom up and moved us to Ohio, I thought it was the worst time ever. We hated her. No lie, like me and Eric, couldn't stand her because we Mom, you taking us from all of our friends, all of our family. You taking us from everything that we know in New York and just going up and move us to another state. But it ended up being one of the best moves ever because I'm the best I've been, I had more opportunity here. I met family that's not blood, and most of my family that I met from when I first moved here is still family.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, of course, as a kid, at 15, 16, I'm like, Mom, what are you doing? You know what I mean? Like, that's my prime years in life right there. You know what I mean? And I wanted to have that time to share with my friends and stuff, but she didn't care. She was like, nah, we gotta do this.
We out.
So, how was campus life?
Yeah.
Because I always wondered how it would be to be like a college student on campus. Like, I wanted to live that type of life, but I hate school. So if I was to do any college, I definitely wouldn't be on campus.
So campus life is amazing. Shout out to Virginia State University, best HBCU in the land. I'm just kidding, but we are close. Howard. We are close. I know people say Howard, but Virginia State's up there, guys, for real. Campus was amazing. Like I said, it was so big. So when I got there my freshman year, we had fried chicken Wednesday, fried fish Friday, and it was just such a live atmosphere, you know, just being around other people who are like you, essentially. And then I played softball too in college. So after I walked on, I met plenty of friends, and we just really enjoyed school. Basically, we partied a lot. I don't know, it was just amazing. We have a lot of campus orgs, so you're like always in the community, community dorm or whatever it is, I'm not sure, can't remember. Oh no, it's called Foster Hall, and that's where they're all at, just doing volunteer work or something like that. So it's amazing. You're always seeing somebody, always running into somebody, something to do all the time while you're on campus.
So was it intimidating when you first got there?
Oh, absolutely.
You was nervous?
Listen, when my mom, my grandma, and Janine walked away and got back in that little minivan,
did you cry?
I cried. And I was in my bed like, what am I gonna do? Because I literally, the only people I really knew, you know what I mean, they left. So I was super intimidated. And then coming from Ohio, and then that's a whole different culture down there. I always say that, but they're completely different. So, just trying to get adjusted and trying to get my style to fit in with their style, and then theirs trying to fit with me and kind of, go together. It was very hard. It was very intimidating, but it wasn't hard after so many months.
Yo, that I remember coming. I think I was helping you move out of your. Did I help you move when you moved back? I came down there for graduation for a fact. Whatever that wherever you was living when I came down there to visit, that little path was nice though.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna even front. I was like, this kind of that log. Yeah, that joint was kind of groovy. Y'all had that joint set up nice, yo. I was like, nah, this joint is, I would live here like on a regular basis. That joint was tough.
And it was affordable because it's in Petersburg, Virginia, which is very low income. So it's affordable for us college students who go to school around there to afford places down there because they sell it, they offer it for cheap.
How far away from that was your school?
From where?
From where you was living. It was right there?
Yeah, it was right down the street, probably like 10 minutes away.
Because I never actually got to go to the school, but I came to your campus, and we went to the graduation after that. And y'all graduated in like a stadium. It was mad of y'all.
It's huge.
That joint was forever. I was like, gee, her last name started with a P. We not leaving here for another 4 hours, man.
It takes
a while. It was huge though. But that was fun driving down there. Me and Janine was driving in the mountains, and I was getting scared. That was the first time I ever drove in the mountains. Yeah, I drove. She drove there. I drove back.
Okay.
And on the way back, it was night, and we was driving, and I didn't know nothing about like mudslides and the rocks falling. Like I'm seeing all of that in the mountains, and then our phones wasn't working. I'm like, oh nah, the devil's a lie. Yep. I'm not about to do this. I'm not about to die. Yeah, with them semis, and they be speeding. They don't care. Like if you just got to get out of their way because they'll stay on your butt. But that was fun. Going back and forth down there. Okay, so that's that. All right, so tell them and me, which I already know, but tell them what you went to school for.
All right, so I went to school for then at Virginia State. Okay, so I went to Virginia State. I studied criminal justice. It wasn't bad at all. And then I graduated, took a year off, and then went back and got my master's in forensic psychology.
that forensics junk, is that like moving on to like FBI status kinda, or no?
It's something similar. So forensic psychology is the study of the mind, but psychology though.
Okay.
So I'm not actually doing anything with forensics.
Okay.
It's just criminal justice psychology, but not criminology. It's weird.
That
It's
sounds crazy.
Yeah, it's weird. So we basically go through like, if I was to be certified or get my PhD or something, I would be able to like testify for people like this person is mentally ill or whatever. So it's that side of things more so. So I would go and interview people.
Okay.
They're like, he's trying to plead insanity, and I would interview, and I'm like, nope.
Yeah,
He's not telling the truth.
Yeah. So I wonder, like, how would that affect you, like, mentally though, like dealing with other people's mind and trying to break into other people's minds? You was never worried about that, like the psychology part? Because I hear a lot of like psychs and like therapists and stuff like that. Like they need to take certain amount of time to decompose and let their mind go, because they take on all of the issues of other people, and then it starts like getting. It's a few movies out there like that too. You know what I mean? The psychologists and stuff start going crazy because they dealing with all of this stuff, and some of that stuff is really deep. And sometimes when you get close to people, you want to help them, but there's not much you can do.
Yeah.
So you start getting attached to your patients and stuff like that. So when you was picking that, you never thought about like how hard it would be on your brain, or if you would be tacking on other people's issues or anything like that?
I didn't. I just kind of just went for it, you know? And it's a good thing that we have resources nowadays that can help others. So say I am a psychologist and I do, kind of get wrapped up in it, or it gets to be too much, then I will go see someone for assistance or help, right? Yeah. And then they'll help me through that difficult time and process it and use cognitive behavioral therapy techniques in order to get back on track. So that's really what it is. I mean, it's a tough field, but we have people and resources that can help you get through it if you do get really challenged.
I'm not going to school to study nothing I can't spell. Then that's way too much.
No, it's not that bad.
So you was in Virginia for how long?
4 years.
4 years, and then you moved back, right?
Yep, I moved back.
So when you moved back, you started going to school again, right?
Yeah, I took a year off.
You took a year off and you
that's
moved
when
back.
I went to forensic.
Okay.
Yeah, but I went online that time.
Okay, so you was online for that.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you was at Virginia, you graduated with what degree?
Criminal justice, Bachelor in Science.
Okay, cool. All right, and then you came back. So that's. Are you still in school for that, or you graduated?
I'm done. I graduated in 2017.
That's a lot of school, T. I don't know how you did that after high school. And all of that
I know, and I'm not done yet.
You're not done? You gotta go back?
Yeah, to become a psychologist, I have to get my PhD. So I'm studying right now for the GRE.
How long does that take?
The GRE?
Yeah, well, how long? How long?
That's like a 6-year program.
Like 32.
I need.
But hey, if it pay off, that's good money.
It's gonna pay off.
Well. Yeah, you'll be set for life. All right, cool. So that's that. Right now, I think your main job, she got mad side hustles, and she got some clothing and stuff coming out too. And I'll tell y'all more about that when that happens. But her main job right now is you work where? In the prison, right?
Yes.
Is it the men's prison or the women's prison?
It's the men's now.
You was in the women's one first, right? So, all right, we're gonna break this down into 2 questions. I want you to tell me how it was working with the women at first. Okay. And then we can switch over. You can tell me how it is working with the men, because I know that's some nonsense.
All right. Okay, so I work in a men's prison right now. I started about 3 years ago in the prison system. So I started with the women's at Marysville, and that was it was different. So like I graduated 2014. I think I got that job in 2016, because it'll be 4 years this year coming up. So yeah, I got that job in 2016. So a couple years later, and I'm like fresh out, still not having a job in my field. So I'm like searching. And I'm like, somebody was like, well, just do, be a CO, a correction officer. I'm like, what? Yeah. Why would I do that? Like, I was so against it for the longest. So then I was like, you know what? I gotta do it. I just gotta suck it up and do it, right? So I went to the women's prison, and they were, not to say they were mean, but they were like, it was almost like they were disrespectful. It was probably because I was a little younger, and I'm a black female. You just call it for what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And they just didn't really respect me until I really had to, gain my respect. So the women basically loved me after that, in a sense. Like, I was a really good correction officer to them, right? So, of course, you have to have boundaries and everything, but I was always good to them. Then I became a case manager while I was at the women's prison as well. So that made it even better. And I was able to really help the women a lot more than being a correction officer. So that's the women. They were not too bad. I mean, we had a mental health unit there. They were a little off. I mean, that's just any mental health, of course. But I mean, I saw some things in there that was a little difficult to kind of deal with a couple of days afterwards. Because, they cut themselves. They do a lot of stuff in there that is traumatizing for us, essentially working on that side of things. So it definitely was hard to like kind of grasp and understand. But after 2 years, I was like, this is nothing, it's a piece of cake.
Was they ever trying to like hit on you?
There's some. Yeah, absolutely. There was some, and I'm
Bring
like,
that little sweet ass here, girl.
Hey, what'd you say? You know what I'm saying? So, and I'm like, yo, chill, but I just write tickets.
Yeah.
And they hate tickets in there, but and it helped. It helped. So they kind of stopped after a while, but when I first got there, they was terrible with that. And you have to like set the tone.
Word.
Because if you don't, they'll continue.
Yeah, they'll keep doing it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. What's a ticket?
A ticket is like a violation, like,
and they get in trouble for that.
Yeah. So they'll have to go like see their sergeant of their dorm or something. They'll get like no phone calls or commissary restriction, which they hate because that's their food. Nobody eats the real prison food, essentially. Yeah. Although some of it is good. Yeah. I have had it. So that's what they do. So that's what a ticket is.
Okay. All right. Tell me about the men's prison.
Yikes. Oh boy, I'm stressed, guys. The men's prison is
completely different.
Whew, boy, it is a lot different, and I don't even know what to really say. So, yeah, I get hit on. I know that's a number one thing, but it's constant. And then, but what I will say is the men are cleaner, absolutely cleaner, and they do respect a little differently. So say if I'm getting disrespected by another offender or something, some of the old heads will step in and, kind of get it together, and I'll just be like, oh, thanks, but they are super disrespectful. Yeah, I got nothing.
Now, are these inmates doing like, it's not like hard sentences, are they? Mm-hmm. Are they? They doing like some years?
I mean, yeah, we have lifers in there. We have people who are in there for murder or, rape. I mean, it's unfortunate, but as a case manager, you have to set all your biases aside and just, assist them as much as possible, which I do, and they are grateful, for their help that they receive. So it's not too bad. I mean, some of them get out and most of them don't.
Okay. I didn't know that. I didn't think that was like that. All right, cool. So I don't know if I ever could work in a prison. What's the hardest part with working in the prison system?
I think the hardest part is dealing with confinement. So when we think about like starting a prison and working in a prison, you don't think about what you're giving up, and you're giving up your freedom too. Yep. And then to retire, so say you stay with the prison the whole time, you're basically a prisoner in a sense. And I hate to say it that way, but you are, because you have to go to work every day inside a prison. You have no like cell phone or anything access, no, you can email, I guess, but you don't really have access to the outside world, right? Just like they don't, for real. They have their tablets and that's it. So it's different, and it's very hard to deal with after some time. I think that's really the hardest part, is really dealing with confinement. Word. You got to understand that this is the way of life.
Word. The reason I asked that is because when I used to work at the rehab hospital, the hospital job itself was cool, it was fun, but the hardest part was just seeing people come in there and be in so much pain, and I couldn't do nothing to help them. A few of the patients that I even asked, like, yo, I know I can't do nothing, but just let me pray with you if that's your religion.
Yeah.
Like if you like, cause this is crazy. Seeing old people and I seen young people too. Most of the young dudes that came in there, they was trying to recover from being shot. You know what I mean? Like, and just they couldn't move their legs and stuff. And it's just like, yo, this is crazy seeing this. You know what I mean? Like, cause I used to have to go into the rooms and like check the equipment that they was renting, so we can put it on consignment and stuff like that and charge it to the room. So when you go in there, sometimes, you know, people just want to talk. You know what I mean? Like, and you start talking to somebody and it's just like, yo, I don't know you, but this is crazy that you're in this situation, to the point where you have to have rehab to learn how to use your limbs again, all because your heart, you was having chest pains, you know what I mean? Like, and you thought it was nothing, but you was really having like a heart attack, you know what I mean? And then one side of you went paralyzed. It's crazy, you know what I mean? It's just hard working in environments like that.
It is very hard. And
I can just imagine like working in a jail or prison system and having to talk to people and you like, dang, like, I see that you really effed up and you know that you did. And now you don't get no other chance. This is your life for the rest of your life, and it sucks.
Absolutely, and I feel bad for them sometimes, you know, because they're people. They're people like us, and they make mistakes, and it's just unfortunate mistake.
It really is. All right, cool. All right, so that's pretty much what I wanted to get through with her, as far as her telling y'all her life in a little bit of time. So what we're gonna talk about now is she's starting up a podcast. Very, very soon. So let's just talk about what made you want to start up this podcast. Matter of fact, first of all, let's talk about what the podcast is, and then we talk about, you know, what made you want to do it.
All right, so I am starting up a fitness podcast
called
For Fitness Sake. Hey. So what made me want to start it up, honestly, is I'm heavy in the gym right now, and I'm really like a fit advocate, even though I don't do the right things all the time. And so I hear, you know, a lot of people go through the same thing as me, and they're just like, well, what do you do, or what kind of workouts do you do? You know, so I really just came to conclusion, like, I just want to, you know, start a podcast and voice it for everybody, right? It doesn't matter if you're super duper fit, if you're not fit at all, haven't even started, this podcast is for you. So we can talk about our struggles, its motivation, you know, certain supplements you can take, things you can eat. You know, I'm going to take my podcast to the gym, to the store, you know, so we can do things together. So I'm basically your accountability partner.
Word.
And that's what this is.
You charging people for that information?
No, I'm gonna give you guys free nuggets. Free nuggets.
Word, because I definitely hit you up the other day, like, T, what's your diet? And she was like, no, I'm on a restricted diet, blah, blah, blah. I gotta weigh my food. I was like, all right, no, I'm good. I'll talk to you later.
No, and I'm like, what? Just get you a cheap scale. Like,
I was like, nah, I'm cool on that. I'm not weighing nothing. I just watch what I eat.
It's very disciplined.
Yeah, it is.
You take on this journey, but I want to be able to help you guys stay disciplined, and that way you can help me stay disciplined.
Word. The craziest thing about working out and getting to where you want to be is that's the number one thing, is discipline.
It is.
Like, if you can stay disciplined, you'll start losing weight and getting to where you want to be, and you won't even realize that it's happening.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Because my thing is, I get so mad and I get discouraged because when I'm in the gym, like, I'll be going for a minute and then I don't see personal results, but I look at myself every day. So I'm not going to see it. But then I'll go out and somebody be like, dog, you losing weight? And I'll be like, oh, so you can see it, but I can't. But it don't feel like it's happening fast enough for me. So I start getting pissed off and I'm like, man, F this, man.
And you quit.
Yeah, I just quit every single time. That's why I start and stop and start and stop. But if I continue to do it when I was like, from when I was 25 to now, like, I'll be perfect right now.
Like, fittest thing ever.
You know
right?
what I mean? But I just start and stop.
Yeah, and life happens. But my trainer always says we always want instant gratification. And when I thought about that, I said, you're right.
That's a fact.
Because I was the same way when I didn't lose weight after probably like 6 months. I've been at this probably about 8 months now. And when I didn't lose weight for that long, I was like, what the heck? What the heck? Like, even after 3, I was like, I'm done.
That
He's
junk
like,
make you want to quit.
It does. But you start to see, like, oh, I was lifting this 25. Now I'm on the 35, right?
Yeah.
So even though the scale doesn't move, doesn't mean your body isn't changing. And that's one thing we have to realize. Yeah. And that's what will keep you going for real.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So, so that's that. How did you come up with the name for that joint, for fitness sake? That's pretty interesting.
Yeah,
the design and everything.
Yeah,
I'll put the design in one of these boxes somewhere on here and show y'all.
For sure. So basically, I was just laying in bed one day and I was like, oh, I don't feel like going to the gym right now, like for F's sake, like that's how I felt, And I'm like, oh, like I just don't. And then I started thinking like, well, for fitness sake, like, but I'm gonna go and I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna keep going, right? So that's kind of where I just kind of intertwined, because it's a struggle. We don't always want to go to the gym. We don't think of the gym as a happy place for real.
It's not fun.
It's not. And so, but you have to continue to go to live your healthiest version of you. You know what I mean? Go to the gym and eat right, of course. Yeah. So that's why I put for fitness sake, because fitness is not just about going to the gym. It's about nutrition as well.
And after what was we saying? What was number one? After not dedication, discipline. Yeah. After discipline, 80% of working out and stuff is all nutrition. You know what I mean? The actual lifting of the weights and the cardio and stuff, that's like 15% all in one. But most of it is what you eat. Like if you can just figure out what works for your body and stuff like that, you know what I mean? Like you'll see changes in your body, you know what I mean? So I'm proud of her for starting up this podcast, and I'm gonna be shouting her out on here so you guys can go follow her when that gets popping. She has some she also has some merchandise coming out, some shirts and stuff like that. And I'll have to put those on here when she gets them and let y'all know what that is. But with that being said, that's the topic of the day. I just wanted y'all to meet my other best friend. You know what I mean? So y'all know what we do from here. We move on to sports talk. And right now, I'll tell y'all what's going on as we are literally sitting here recording. We watching Ohio State and they're pulling away right now. But around the association right now, the Lakers are playing Boston. It's 87-87. Later tonight, we got Minnesota versus Denver. We have Indiana versus Toronto. We have Washington versus Chicago. We got San Antonio versus OKC. New Orleans versus Golden State, and Detroit versus Portland tonight on I think this Lakers game is the only game that's going to be televised unless you got NBA TV. Then you can watch 2 of those games. And that's what's going on in the association today. Around men's basketball right now, like I said, we watching Ohio State and Maryland. Ohio State is winning 50-39. Is that score right?
Yeah.
Creighton versus Butler.
They're blowing them out.
Creighton is smashing Butler 70-38. That's ridiculous. And I think Penn State won today. They beat Indiana.
No, Indiana won.
Oh, Indiana won. Wow, they did.
Yeah, they're not even ranked.
Wow, okay. Indiana won. Cincinnati beat Wichita. Seton Hall beat St. John's. Then we have USC playing Utah later tonight. Miami playing Notre Dame, and Stanford playing Washington State. And LeBron just got hurt.
Oh, Lord, he did.
Or he faking, one of the two.
No.
He looked hurt, though.
Yeah.
All right, that's it for sports talk. Moving on to cinema sit down. So I've been watching a lot of movies. I went and seen that bullcrap Fantasy Island last night. That movie was horrible. Oh my gosh, that movie was a waste of time. It was 2 hours of my life I can never get back, man. It was trash, but everybody sees movies differently. So y'all go see it and tell me what y'all think about it for yourselves. It was garbage to me, though. That movie, I mean, out of 1 out of 10, I get that movie like a 5. maybe if that. But other shows I've been watching, if y'all haven't started watching All American, I should start watching All American. That show was really good. It's based off of a true story or a true, some of the events is based off of true story. The Outsider on HBO, if you don't have that. Again, that show was about like doppelgangers killing people, but it's really good though. Steven Spielberg wrote it.
I don't know if I can watch it.
Nah, it's good.
I was already
You
scared.
seen Us, right?
Get Out. Yeah. Oh yeah, Us. I was already scared.
It's like that.
Nah.
But it's not like, I mean, I guess it is some jump scares in it, but it's really like in depth though. Steven Spielberg been writing movies he's been writing books and stuff for a long time. Yeah, he's good at it. But that show was absolutely phenomenal. Another one of my instant classics was 1917. This was also based off of another true story, where the Germans and I want to say it was England and the Germans or something like that. But what happened is they had no communication to their first team that they sent out, and they were planning. The first team that was sent out was planning an attack to go and they thought it was going to be the last day of the war because they thought that they had the Germans on the run, but the Germans actually reversed it and they were setting them up as a trap. But they didn't have no communication, so they had the general that was back. He sent two people out. He sent two dudes out to go damn near across town, you know what I mean, in the middle of war, to relay this message to tell them to stop. Because if they didn't stop, he was like, we about to lose like 2,500 people. But they didn't have they couldn't like do the teleprompter or whatever. They couldn't do it. So they had to send these two out. Like, it just them on foot. It's crazy though. Like, how they it's a good movie. I don't really like war movies, but that became one of my instant classic war movies because it was really good and it's a true story. So 1917 is another movie to watch, and if y'all haven't seen Richard Jewell, that's another true story. That's about the Olympics in 1997. They was at a concert. And this security guard he seen this dude put a book bag down, and he was like, they thought he was being too much of a cop, like, you know what I mean, they thought he was overdoing his job, and they like because he wanted to join the police academy, but he only was a security guard.
Okay.
So they thought he was doing too much, and we got a suspicious bag right here, y'all gotta, you know what I mean, like, clear out. And then nobody believed them. It ended up being a bomb in it. This is a true story.
Oh wow!
So they somehow came up with him being the person that put the bag there, because they like, oh, he wants to be the hero, blah blah blah. You know what I mean? But if you watch it, you'll see that he was just passionate about what he did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they tried to get him on it, but he ended up fighting it and getting, he didn't have to do no jail time or nothing like that, but they did have to pay him. You know what I mean? Then he ended up actually becoming a police officer in the end of it. But it's a good movie. That's another good movie. I think I'm gonna go see Sonic tonight. I'm not sure. And I want to see that joint with Issa. The photograph. Yeah, I want to see that joint too.
I saw it last week.
You saw it? How was it?
Good.
It was good?
It's a classic.
Word? All right. I like Issa anyways with her fine, so.
It's a really good movie.
Okay, cool. I'm going to go see that too. So that's what I got for Cinema Sit Down. And the next segment is one of my favorites. I'm glad I implemented. It's called Music Loop.
Okay.
So what I do is I tell them about an album that I want them to go listen to, or albums. But since you're my guest, if you have something that you want them to listen to, you can tell them and I'll put it up here. My albums right now, I think, is Royce the 5'9's joint came out. Tink.
Amazing.
Tink's joint is really, really good, yo. And I don't know why it took me so long. Like, I liked her, but I didn't know she was nice like that.
She's sweet.
That album was awesome. So yeah, Royce the 5'9's The Allegory, and Tink's joint, Hopeless Romantic. is what I got for y'all to go listen to. Both of those albums are phenomenal. You got anything?
No, that's probably it. The Lil Wayne was good though, but that's like a week or two.
Yeah, Lil Wayne's joint was good, but the only thing about Lil Wayne is I'm tired of hearing him talk about what he talk about. I just want him to get deeper because I know he has a lot more going on, you know what I mean? And he's a dynamic artist, so he can tell us more, and he's not. He decides to just continue to rap about the same stuff. But Lil Wayne is always going to put out quality music, so. All right, y'all make sure y'all go check those out. And with that being said, this is the last segment. So we cheers. I told T not to drink our water, so we can cheers. And this is where I send you guys out. Thank you guys for tuning in. This is episode 21. I needed that too.
Refreshing.
Word, I needed that. My throat was getting dry. But this is episode 21. This is called For Fitness Sake, featuring my homie T-Pain. I'm sure she'll be back on, and I'll be on her podcast. So we'll be switching information so you guys can go follow her. You know what I mean? So with that being said, thank you guys for watching. This is Trenton's Tavern. I'll see you guys on the next go round.